Tech giant Microsoft will invest $5 billion to bolster Australia's cyber defences. The new commitment was unveiled alongside the Prime Minister on the second day of his visit to Washington, where he also paid his respects at the Arlington Cemetery alongside Australia's ambassador to the United States, Kevin Rudd. Political Editor Andrew Clennell is travelling with Mr Albanese.
As the PM prepares for an expected private dinner with Joe and Jill Biden Tuesday night in Washington, there's increasing optimism in the Australian government that the US Congress will be no obstacle to the AUKUS nuclear submarines deal. Sources have told Sky News that there's no real Congress opposition to the deal. That's after talks recently in Australia, and this week they are also occurring with congressmen in the US. The PM spoke about this on Monday in Washington and about the work the government has done in connection with this.
The combination of the three nations cooperating when it comes to our defence capacity lifts the capacity of everyone, of all three countries. That's what this is about here. Win, win, win for Australia, the United States and the United Kingdom.
The nuclear submarines, of course, are associated with the threat from China, and that threat looms large over this trip by the Prime Minister to the US, although Mr Albanese does not appear to want to mention China during this trip, as he's only a week and a half away from visiting President Xi in Beijing.
Prime Minister, so much of this trip, including this cybersecurity announcement, appears aimed at countering the threat of China. Do you see the irony there when you're about to visit there and for a friendly visit in almost a fortnight?
No, this is aimed at strengthening Australia. This is aimed at creating good, well-paid jobs in Australia. And we need to, as I've said, on a number of occasions before and after the election, I want to see a future made in Australia. I want us to be more resilient. What this does is build up the resilience of our digital infrastructure, but also the resilience of our capacity of our labour as well. So this is a very significant announcement and a very positive one.
The Prime Minister spent the first day of his visit announcing a deal for Microsoft to spend $5 billion on an artificial intelligence industry in Australia over the next 2 years. He also announced Microsoft would work with the Australian Signals Directorate to build a cyber shield in the hope of stopping more Medibank Optus-type hacks on Australians' personal information.
This partnership and collaboration with the Australian Signals Directorate is very welcome indeed. This will improve joint capability to identify, prevent and respond to cyber threats. We know that this is having an impact on all companies. We know as well that this is about individuals and the protection of who they are. We need to get this right.
In the morning, the PM laid a wreath at the Arlington National Cemetery, and during the day there were cameos from respective big-name ambassadors, Caroline Kennedy and Kevin Rudd.
It really represents the best of Australia and America working together, your significant faith in Australians and their future.
Carolyn, it's just wonderful to have you as a friend, colleague and partner as we seek to work both ends of this relationship together. It's great having you at the other end of the phone. PM and Brad and colleagues, thank you so much for being part of this significant announcement for both our countries.
On Tuesday in Washington, it will be all about critical minerals and creating jobs in Australia through deals with the US. And on Thursday, Australian time, Wednesday, Washington time, it's time for the state dinner in honour of Australia and a meeting in the Oval Office with the US President, plus a joint press conference.